Good day everyone, I am Princess and today I'll be discussing or I'll be introducing to you the 1896 Philippine Revolution. The 1896 Philippine Revolution was a movement aimed at ending over 300 years of Spanish colonization. It was led by a secret society called the Katipunan or the KKK, which means Kataas-taasan Kagalang-galangang Katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan, founded by Andres Bonifacio on July 7, 1892. The Katipunan sought to unite Filipinos in a fight for independence. Bonifacio believed that the only way to achieve independence was through revolution, unlike Jose Rizal, who advocated for peaceful reforms. The members of the Katipunan were called Katipuneros and were ordinary Filipinos inspired by Bonifacio's leadership and nationalist ideas. Why did Filipinos revolt? Filipinos were motivated to revolt because of the widespread oppression and abuse they faced against Spanish rule. The reasons for the revolution was excessive taxation because the Spanish government imposed unfair taxes like the tributo or the head tax, and the bandala for sale of goods, and the cedula, which is the residence certificate. The second one is the abuse by the friars. The Spanish friars owned vast tracts of land and exploited Filipino farmers. They held significant political and religious power, leading to corruption and abuse. The third one is the inequality. Filipinos, especially the Indios or the natives, were treated as second-class citizens, while Peninsulares, Spaniards born in Spain, and Insulares, Spaniards born in Philippines, enjoyed privileges. The key events of the revolution was first the cry of Pugadlawin. This was marked as the beginning of the revolution. Andres Bonifacio and the Katipuneros gathered in Pugadlawin and tore their cedulas or the residence certificate as a symbolic act of defiance against Spanish authority. The second one is the outbreak of the revolution. The Katipunan was discovered by the Spanish and was cracked down. August 23, 1896 was the cry of Pugadlawin led by Andres Bonifacio. And the next one is the initial battles. It began with the Battle of San Jose del Monte on August 30, 1896. And the next one is the revolution spread across Luzon and other islands, and the key leaders was Andres Bonifacio and Emilio Aguinaldo. The next one is the retraction of Rizal. On December 29, 1896, hours before his execution, Jose Rizal allegedly signed a retraction document. Rizal declared himself a Catholic and retracted his writings against the Catholic Church. The authenticity of the retraction remains disputed among historians. The several key events of this revolution was the cry of Pugadlawin, the Tejeros Convention, and the Pact of the Biak na Bato. The Tejeros Convention held in Cavite was a critical meeting where the revolutionary leaders aimed to create a unified government. Emilio Aguinaldo was elected president, and Andres Bonifacio lost his leadership role, which eventually led to tensions and Bonifacio's arrest and execution. The next one is the Pact of Biak na Bato, which happened on December 14 to 15, 1897. This was a peace agreement between Aguinaldo and the Spanish government. Aguinaldo and other leaders went into exile in Hong Kong, but the truce was short-lived and fighting continued until the revolutions ended. The additional key events was the Decalogue, Kartilya ng Katipunan, and Declaration of Philippine Independence. The Decalogue was written by Andres Bonifacio. It is a set of 10 guiding principles for the Katipunan members, emphasizing patriotism, unity, and moral conduct. The Kartilya ng Katipunan was written by Emilio Jacinto, Bonifacio's close associate and the brains of the Katipunan. It emphasized virtues such as honor, loyalty, and the importance of education and self-improvement. Lastly is the Declaration of Philippine Independence on June 12, 1898. It was proclaimed by Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista, marked the formal declaration of independence from Spanish rule. The Philippine flag was raised and the national anthem, Lupang Hinirang, was played for the first time. And what sparked the revolution? To understand how the revolution started, let's begin by looking at a significant event that sparked it all, the cry of Pugad Lawi.
The Decalogue by Andres. So this is the Decalogue by Andres Bonifacio, also known as the 1983 Decalogue. This is a set of guidelines meant to inspire and guide Filipinos in their struggle for independence from colonial rule. It is written in 1897. It consists of 10 commandments that emphasizes principles of patriotism, justice, and civic duty. So this is the original document of Decalogue by Andres Bonifacio, and this is the translation and also the Filipino, but I will gonna read the English na lang kay para di na madugay. So, love God full-heartedly. Second, bear always in mind that the true love of God is love of country, love which also true love of man. Third, bear always in mind that the true measure of honor and of charity is to die in defense of your country. Fourth, serenity, constancy, reason, and faith is whatever act of endeavor crowned with success every desire. Fifth, guard as you would your honor the mandates and aims of the KKK. It is fourth, si- sixth, it is incumbent on all that the who runs a serious risk in complying with his duties should be protected at the sacrifice of life and riches. Seven, let the achievement of each other in self-control or in compliance with duty be an example of his fellow. 8. Help to the limit of your endurance. Share your wealth with the needy or the unfortunate. 9. Diligence in your daily work to earn a living is the true expression of love and the affection for yourself, for your wife, for your child, for your brother, and for your countrymen. And lastly, believe in the cherishment of the present, the treasurest and the reward of all good work. Believe also that the aims of the KKK are the gifts of God, for the hopes of the country are also the hopes of God. That's all.
Hello everyone, I am DJ Prabada Baldon and I will be explaining my part in the 1886 Philippine Revolution. So the Cartilla, or the Teachings of the Katipunan, was originally made by Emilio Jacinto, and it now serves as the new guidebook for the newcomers or for those people who want to join the group. So the reason why the Cartilla was made as the rule book over the Decalogue was because Andres Bonifacio basically realized that the Cartilla was the 14 lessons. They were made with such perfect diction. They were pure, they were crisp, and they were transparent, meaning if they were to get new people to join the group, they would understand it immediately because the words were straight to the point. The document was written prior to the August 1896 revolutionary movement of the Katipunan. The Katipuneros, upon joining the Katipunan, were required to read the Cartilla and adhere to its code of conduct. For example, in every school, there is a mission, vision, and or goal that every student has to memorize. And that's basically the same thing for the Cartilla. They basically have to memorize the readings and the code of conducts. Basically, the design of the Cartilla emphasizes the importance of love for one's country, equality, justice, and the pursuit of freedom. It promotes the idea of united and independent Philippines free from Spanish colonial rules. And it also encourages selflessness, sacrifice, and dedication to the cause of the revolution. So in the picture that you see in this PowerPoint, the original version has 14 paragraphs that contain the values of a Katipunero should have. Each paragraph is unique in such a way that they tackle different aspects of a person's life, in which case anyone might have different interpretations, and that is why it is only appropriate to have a better understanding or explanation of its content. So if we summarize all the lessons from 1 to 14, we can summarize that the people that join this type of group, or the cartelias, they join to have a purpose in life, to have love for others, to be kind, to have respect and equality, and also value and also awareness of their own actions. That is all for my part. Now on to the next subtopic.
So next is the Tejeros Convention. So Tejeros Convention is also known as the Tejeros Assembly. Now, Tejeros Convention was a large meeting in Tejeros, Cavite, where Filipino revolutionaries gathered to choose a new leader to fight against Spain, marking the first election in Philippine history. So, no, we'll dig deeper later, no, on why there was an election to begin with. So, no, as you can see here, is the flag of KKK. The kataas-tasang, kagalang-galang na katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. No? In short, katipunan. No? It is a revolutionary group fighting against Spanish rule. And that it is founded by Andres Bonifacio on April 7, 1892. We're familiar with that, right? No? Okay, but as the time went by, the organization grew and the revolutionaries were divided into two factions. No? The Magdiwang, led by Mariano Alvarez, and Magdalo, led by Emilio Aguinaldo. So, some sources mistakenly claim Bonifacio led the Magdiwang. It only seemed this way because he had their strong support, while they also recognized him as the Katipunan leader. No, so the Magdiwang acknowledged Bonifacio. That's why it was more on the Magdiwang than the Magdalo. Okay, so okay, take note though. The leader of Magdiwang is Mariano Alvarez. Now, there were two groups in the Katipunan because of their differing leadership and strategies within the movement. Okay, so um, the first days of Philippine Revolution saw the defeat of Katipunan in Manila, forcing Bonifacio to retreat. So this happened on August 30, 1896. And okay, so Bonifacio and his men were defeated by the Spanish forces. No, but at the same time, during their defeat, in Cavite, the Katipunan under Emilio Aguinaldo managed to subdue the Spanish forces. Okay, they won. Okay, though the victory was short-lived, and soon later during this time, the Magdiwang and Magdalo were fighting over territory and logistics. No, they were like rivals. They were having a conflict with each other. So, unable to resolve their differences, they realized they need to be unified. No, no, di ba kapag sa isa ka kuan grupo, no, same, they had the same objective, no, goal, but because of their rival, something that basta mapildi pa sila. So, no, so the Magdiwang faction invited the Supremo Andres Bonifacio to Cavite to mediate. No? This is because as the Supremo of the Katipunan, Bonifacio was seen as the highest leader who could mediate between the two groups. So he was the only one who could maybe unify them. No? Okay, so like I said, some mistakenly say that Bonifacio led the Magdiwang, but he was the Supremo, the leader of the entire organization, and he hoped to unify the revolutionaries and maintain control over the movement. No? So, again, Bonifacio is the leader of the Supremo. Supremo. So, Bonifacio is the Supremo of the Katipunan. So, he's the leader on top. So, let's say, um, Supremo, there are two branches, okay, under it. The two factions, the Magdiwang and Magdalo. Bonifacio at the top, and the two is Magdiwang, Magdalo. Magdiwang is led by Mariano Alvarez, and then Emilio Aguinaldo, okay, led the Magdalo. And then next is the Imus Assembly. So on December 31, 1896, an assembly at Imos. So this assembly happened to solve the problem of revolutionary leadership in the province. No, like I said, no, the Magdiwang invited Bonifacio to mediate the two factions. So, no, so I can say here, ended without a definite resolution. No, because of the two arguments in the assembly. Okay, first one we have here is the Magdalo wanted to form new government to replace the Katipunan. Okay, so the Magdalo wanted to form a new government, not to replace Katipunan. No, the Katipunan, which is not a secret society anymore. No, it is already outside the box. So that is why the Magdalo wanted a new government, no? A new structured and organized one. No, okay, though maybe Katipunan is organized, but like I said, they just wanted a new one. And yeah, so Magdiwang argued that the Katipunan should remain as their government. Now, this is because it had already had an existing constitution, have laws and a foundation, and but because of the heated discussions, no, the arguments and all, no, it should be like this, it should be like that, no, the assembly ended without definite resolution. So, so they wanted, so after 3 days, I mean 3 months, another assembly was held. No, they had another assembly on March 22, 1897. No, Cavite Catapuneros and others gathered at the Estate House in Barrio Tejeros. So that is why it is called Tejeros Convention, because it was held, no, at the Friars, no, estate, no, in Barrio Tejeros. Now, in this no, in this gathering, no, creation of a new government was again debated upon. So during the last assembly, they were arguing about they should make a new government or not, right? So that because of the discussion, no, it was there was no resolution. So they another assembly, but again, they debated about it. So that's why Bonifacio meditated, no, um, and acceded to an election of a new government, were then proceeded to election. So during that time, Emilio Aguinaldo was bracing for an imminent Spanish attack with Filipino forces. So, no, like I said, no, Emilio Aguinaldo was not present during the Tejeras Convention, and even the Imus Convention. He was not there, no, because he was facing some Spanish forces. But he was elected as president, no, even though he was absent, and Mariano Trias as vice and Bonifacio as director of the interior. So, no, Bonifacio um, was elected as director of the interior, and Daniel Tirona from Magdalo opposed, no, of that. Yeah. So this is because, no, of Bonifacio's education background. No, so of course, no, if I were Bonifacio, I would also be insulted, no, of what he said. No, I could not be in the position because of my education. Like, I'm the one who made this organization, and you're just gonna leave me out, something like that. So, so yun nga, no, he stood up and pointed a gun towards Daniel Tirona, and ingon siya na, wa kay respeto, something anana, no? Ako ang ano yun na, so, no? So, Bonifacio also rejected the position, no, feeling that the election process was unfair and that he was not given proper recognition for his role in the revolution, no? He was the founder of KKK, and napunta lang siya sa kanang ubos-ubos sa president. That's why he felt unfair, no? Siya di tama ba na ganun. He dissolved, no, the assembly and annulled everything that had happened. No, siya kanang kay never mind na niha na di ni pwede dismiss, let's forget everything, okay, mag something ana. Okay, so the next day, no, sa March 23, no, after that day na annul niya, no, he went back to the estate, no, and officially reject the and invalidate the election, which claimed to fraud and unfair. So, according to Heroes Convention, no, it is considered where the first ng unfair kanang correct ba something na election no in Philippine history. So at the same day, no, now where Bonifacio went to the estate to invalidate everything, no, Aguinaldo was told about the election and proceeded with the oath taking, no. So they did not mind what Bonifacio has said, no. So no, leaving Bonifacio without a role in the new government, no. So outgroup na siya. Okay, so resulting of the agreement of Magdiwang and Magdalo, no, to unify and form the revolutionary government, no, the new one. So, the pamahalaang paghihimagsik. So, no, at the end of the day, um, yeah, they form a new one where Bonifacio was out. Okay, it's not included or involved. No, after pila pa gani ka days ba 2 weeks kay months ba to no nakuha na pa siya treason no which led to his death but layo-layo na siya. Okay, so next we have is
Termeo Ricarte's account. So Termeo Ricarte was born in the town of Batac, Ilocos Norte. Before he became a member of Madiwag faction, he was first a teacher in a primary school. During the Tejeros Convention, he was elected as a captain general. And then the and then during the Philippine American War on during the Philippine American War on the July 1900, he tried to infiltrate the American lines to enter Manila, but he was captured. So then he was sent to Bilibid prison and stayed there for 6 months. After he was sent to exile in Guam for 2 years along with Mabini, the Americans allowed them to go back to the Philippines. Then the Americans offered them an oath na panig sila sa Americans, but Artemio Ricarte refuses. Then they sent them to Tokyo, Japan, but he secretly went back to the Philippines after a few months. He was captured again by the Americans and sent him to the Bilibid for 6 years. During his stays in the prison, he wrote the memoirs after niya nakagawa sa prisuhan kay the Americans sent him again to Japan. There he lives with his wife and dito sa Japan, the memoirs were published in Tagalog in 1927 in Yokohama, Japan with the title Himagsikan ng Pilipino laban sa Kastila. And then his account of the Philippines Revolution, kamahal-mahal at kataas-taasang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. So again, the memoirs was written in 1904 during his imprisonment, and it was translated into English by a British journalist, William Brecknock Watson, but remained in a manuscript form. So that's all. Thank you.
okay, I'm back. Okay, so now we have here is Andres Bonifacio's letter to Emilio Jacinto on April 16, 1897. So Emilio Jacinto is Bonifacio's counselor. Okay, the brains to siya. So here is the letter of Bonifacio, no? The writing of the ama ng Katipunan, no? The founder of KKK. So for his counselor Emilio Jacinto, no? It is a letter for Emilio Jacinto. So Andres Bonifacio wrote this letter almost a month after the Tejeros Convention. Mm. Um, in this letter, no, the Supremo expresses his sentiments to Jacinto. No, he wrote in his letter in detail, no, how he was cheated by the companions of Emilio Aguinaldo at the Tejeros Convention on March 22, 1897, no, where he felt betrayed and no, he said that it was unfair, that he was betrayed, yung ganun. So, parang nag-rant siya kay Emilio Jacinto. Sumbong, in a way, like, telling me what happened, what he should do. He asked for that. And he mentioned in his letter, uh, before that, it's like treachery committed by some individuals within the revolutionary movement. He mentioned in his letter that before the election, he heard that talk from those who are from Imus. They said that they should not be led, that they should not be led that is not from Cavite. No. So only Emilio Aguinaldo, no, that is a Caviteno should be president. So parang if uh, Cavite is where Emilio Aguinaldo was from. So it was Emilio Aguinaldo's turf. So the people from the organization, wanted someone from their turfs to be president, which is Emilio Aguinaldo. And he discussed in his first letter there were people plotting of his removal as the Supremo, like I said earlier, and he didn't get a reply from Emilio Cinto from his first letter, so he wrote again, a second one, again for Emilio Cinto, and this time it was more detailed on what happened, no, sa the Heroes Convention, and still no answer. As mentioned. So, on April 24, 3 days later, he was arrested by Emilio Aguinaldo. He was charged for treason together with his brother and was killed at Maragondon, Cavite. So, convention led to the fragmentation of the insurgent forces, made through the Acta de Tejeros and the Naik Military Agreement. So, Acta, Acta de Tejeros is a document that was produced during the Tejeros Convention on March 22, 1897. It recorded the results of the election for the new revolutionary government, declaring Emilio Aguinaldo as president, Mariano Trias as vice president, which, as we know, Andres Bonifacio opposed to, being uh, Emilio Aguinaldo as president. He didn't want that. No? He was feeling that the election was unfair. No? Sabi ni Andres Bonifacio that it was very unfair and declared the results void, stating that the assembly was illegitimate. So, like I said, detailed information, on how the election was cheated and manipulated by Emilio Aguinaldo supporters, during that Harris Convention. So, yeah, that's all about. It's all about the Andres Bonifacio's letter to Emilio Cinto, which concludes my report. Peace.
Okay, hello everyone. So now let's move on to the second phase of the 1896 Philippine Revolution, the Declaration of Philippine Independence. So, the Declaration of the Philippine Independence is also known as the Act of Proclamation of Independence by the Filipino people. This was written by Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista on June 12, 1898, that took part in the independence ceremony. So, the independence ceremony was held in Cavite Viejo, which is now known as Kawit, Cavite. This document was signed by 98 individuals that included a colonel from the American Army named Johnson, L.M. Johnson, who represented the United States. So, supposedly, Emilio Aguinaldo had intended for Admiral George Dewey to attend the ceremony in the first place. However, unfortunately, he declined. So, on the same day, during the ceremony, the Philippine national flag was raised, while the Marcha Nacional Filipina was played by the San Francisco de Malabon band. So the national banner was sewn by Marcela M. Agoncillo, including her daughter Lorenza Agoncillo and Jose Rizal's niece, Delfina Herbosa. So, on the other hand, the National March was created by a Caviteño composer
Julian Felipe. So, the Declaration of the Philippine Independence was set on June 12 by Emilio Aguinaldo, and the reason why he declared the Philippine independence was to amass the loyalty of the Filipino people and to inspire them to further engage the Spanish forces. However, Apolinario Mabini had a different position. So Mabini here is Aguinaldo's chief advisor. So ang gusto ni Mabini kay the president's immediate concern kay dapat anong direct siya toward organizing the government so as to convince like para ma-prove nato sa mga foreign countries na like we are capable for self-government. So in the end kay the independence ceremony was pushed through and Mabini's recommendations were acted upon in June 18, 6 days after the independence ceremony, where Aguinaldo ordered for the organization of the towns under the authority of the Filipino government. So, that's all. Thank you.